Hey, here on the MARR Rock Show, we are in Baltimore at Angel's Rock Bar with Revolve, and we've got Tommy and Debbie from Revolve. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey,
what's up, man?
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks for coming out.
And for Debbie, I say welcome back to the show because you're, I think, a 3-time guest of the MARR Rock Show. But we finally got Tommy on the show, so I'm excited to talk to you, man.
Man,
So
glad to be here.
tell me a little bit about tonight's show, man.
Oh, it was a good show, man. This club is awesome. Angel's Rock Bar. It's the first time I've been in here, and it's a cool little venue.
It's actually one of the first times that they're doing a rock show on a Friday night. It's the first of the first. And they have a curfew for the rock show at 11 o'clock. So Kevin from 24 Entertainment had to, like squeeze four heavy bands into like one night. And I thought he did a good job, He did a good
Yeah,
thing.
that was a good lineup.
Yep.
So a couple things for you, Tommy, man. You guys are like a band from everywhere. It's a little unusual to not have a band. Like I heard people were talking to Debbie or Merch saying, "Where are you guys from?" You're like, "Well, we're." So talk a little bit about how challenging that is to be from like 4 states or 3 states or whatever you're from.
It's rough. We're like a bunch of nomads. I mean, I feel like we're always driving back and forth to see each other. It's it's challenging, but we got something good, we feel like, so it's worth the effort to try to make it work, and
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, man.
So and once we're on tour, that's not gonna matter.
Yeah, right.
At that point, you're all from the same place, right? The same 4 wheels.
Yeah.
So, hey, we've talked to Debbie a bunch of times now. How did you and Revolve find each other? Like, talk about your entry into this band.
Well, I was in a band called Devise back in Jersey with guys I grew up with, and Debbie just messaged me one day on Facebook, and I think she friended me like a couple months.
I stalked him. That's what I say.
Yeah, she friended me a couple months earlier, and I was like, "Who's this chick?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll accept the request, And then she contacted me one day and said, "Hey, we're looking for a singer to do this record, and Clint was producing, and
hard to say no to that."
Yeah, so I was talking to my wife, and she was like, go give it a try. I'm not one to put myself out there in a strange situation where I don't know many people. So for me to go there by myself and meet them, a couple hours away in Maryland was way out of my element, So when I met everybody, we hit it off right away. It was just, everybody was so cool, and I just remember driving home going, this might be something good.
So, Debbie, what was it about his singing style and his voice that, said, this is the guy we want to come down here?
He just had really good texture, melody. Melody's super important when you're writing songs, especially good songs, you know what I mean? I'm not, focused on, well, yes, I am. I mean, hits are important, but, when I heard his voice, I was like, man, we could write some really cool songs, and that's what drew me in, was just his texture of his voice. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Now, man, you are a very, very good singer. I mean, I said that to my partner. They're a great singer. So, give us the background, man. Did you get trained in this, or is it just a natural talent?
It's a natural thing. My grandfather was actually a singer on Broadway. He was a singer, impressionist, and comedian, and he performed on Broadway. I didn't even know. I never met him. He was my dad's dad, and they were estranged, so I never met him. I could never figure out where it came from. My dad didn't have the ability to sing or anything. My mom can't sing a lick, and I guess it came from my grandpa, that I wish I would have met him, Well, I've been singing since I was 4 or 5 years old,
What'd you start with? What was it like? What do you remember the music you started with?
Absolutely. My father was real big into Motown, real big into Motown. Anything from that, time period. And my mom was rock, so it was like Temptations and Queen. So that was what I started on.
That's awesome.
So you guys have some kind of cool stuff coming up. I don't know how much you can tell me about or how much you can. So let me, whatever you want to share with people that you got coming up in the fall, let folks know about.
Well, right now we're working on booking some shows nationwide. We're going out on tour. We want to hop on the tour. I can't really say which one we're doing yet. We talked about that earlier.
We know how that works. That's all good. Yeah.
But we are definitely ready to take this live, and I just want to get the record out there, and just meet the fans and
Yeah, we're just trying to get out and be in front of as many people as we can, you know, and try to make a name.
So it's a great record. I absolutely love it. You know, I was telling Debbie, you know, we it's funny. Sometimes I get accused of doing a lot of positive reviews. I'm like, well, I don't interview bands that I hate. So I like you guys. So I've talked to Debbie about this before. I haven't asked you this. So tell me about working with Clint, man. What did Clint do for you in the studio?
Clint is like, he works exactly how I work. You know, like his sense of melody and his sense of you know, just building a song structure and a chorus and you know, all the intricate guitar layering. You know, he's like, if I could pick somebody to write a song with tomorrow, it'd be a dude like that, because your ideas just bounce off each other so free flowing, and he, I mean, it was great. It was great. I had worked with Morgan previously.
Oh yeah,
with Morgan from Seven Dust, and he was the same way. And Morgan's a little more party, you know, hang out and you know.
He won't care.
Oh, no, great producer. He knows I love him.
We've had the pleasure of seeing Morgan work in the studio before, man, and I'm just like, amazing, I'm amazed by it.
You know, and I had no idea that Morgan was, before working with him, was as talented at songwriting as he is. I didn't know, you know, I didn't realize him and Clint write everything together, you know, and John, but Clint was different than Morgan. Morgan was, you know, build a song structure and you know, make a good song. Clint's more filling it out. You know, it's like giving it, you know, more of a skeleton and intricacies in it, you know, and it was just real cool, man. It was a real great experience working with him.
Clint is very, well, he's got two sides to him. He's extremely professional when he's working, but then he's just a freaking lunatic.
Oh yeah, he's
so funny.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, my stomach hurt, like, after the first 3 hours there. He just made us laugh so hard. Like, he's, you know, people are so nervous to work with him, and you know, I've known him forever, and so I knew what to expect. But it was awesome. It was just a great experience, and you know, we're hopefully going to do it again.
Yeah.
Next record.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited.
So, hey man, I heard one cover tune tonight, one Deftones cover. I know, and I think you played most of your album tonight, so that was very cool. So, who do you like to sing? Like, if out there of all the bands to cover, who do you like? Man, I really want to cover this guy.
I like
or
Tommy.
band. You can't cover him. He's in your band.
That's a crazy question. I never really think about it like that. As far as singers I like listening to and what they do vocally, I you know, obviously I'm a big fan of Lejean from Seven Dust. I've always have been. It's weird. How about this? I love Freddie Mercury. I love. Oh man.
It's a hard thing to do as a singer. I know,
really hard.
And I'm gonna throw it to Debbie too. Is there like a song that, like, somewhere rolling around in your head, like, one of these days it's weird, but we're gonna cover this? Have you ever, like, do you have like a weird kind of cover that might surprise people, like you just always wanted to do? Sometimes I go back to our friends Elysium. They do Safety Dance.
You know,
Oh yeah, really?
my dad was in a band, which is where I got my start. He was in a band called High Voltage, and they did everything from freaking Southern rock to metal to just, you know, all the stuff. I would love to cover Blackfoot, Train.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I like that song.
Yeah.
You know, I
Can you pull it off?
Yeah, sure. On a good day, maybe.
It's definitely in that bluesy vein type deal, and that would be my song.
Hey, I got another thing I want to ask you about. What about music videos, man, with the record? You know, are we talking music video?
It's now for Stranded, for the single Stranded,
we've
and
got a storyboard idea. We're checking out some videographers. I had a conference call today with two different people. So we're just trying to work it out in the budget, man.
Yeah,
You know?
That's a hard thing, right?
It always comes down to money. I hate money.
Hey, well, guys, it was really a great time talking to you guys tonight. I had a great time seeing you. That's the second time I saw you live with the band, so, and we'll not be strangers to it, man. I expect it won't be long. I'll be seeing you guys on the festival circuit. One more thing before I let you go. Tell me about K-Rock. And by the way, for those of you, it's not named after this K-Rock, although I wish it was. Tell me a little bit about K-Rock-a-thon up there.
Great, man. That was such a cool festival. It was, God, I don't even know how many people were there, how many thousands of people were there.
I mean, like, I tell the story where I always throw Tommy under the bus, and I do. And I always say, he's like, oh my God, I hope there's like 20 people there. And I'm just like, oh my God, there's going to be like 3,000.
Yeah.
And
I'm always worried. I'm always like, we're going to be out there. There's going to be two people, you know.
And it's so funny because after we got off stage, I went right up to Josh from K-Rock and I said, how many people were here. He goes, at least 4,000. I went, yes!
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice, man. It was, and that was for an early slot.
And
So
and one of my goals was to break the New York audience, because New York is tough, man. And everybody told me, you guys are first. I just want to let you know how you and I talked about that.
Yeah.
How tough they are. You might not make it yet, but don't let that discourage you. And oh my God,
it was like they've been listening to us for years,
Yes.
man. It was amazing. The crowd was phenomenal.
It was probably the best show I think I've ever had.
Yeah, it was one of the best crowds
Yeah.
I've ever
Yeah.
played for. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there weren't 4,000 people here tonight, but man, there was a lot of folks here, and I can tell you guys, we have friends here in the audience tonight who saw you for the first time. You're getting the momentum, man. You got the fans building. So, hey guys, thanks for being here. Tommy and Debbie from Revolve, guys, thanks so much.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.